Hi there, this is a quick walkthrough of how the number bond application works. When you download the file and you open the zip file, you have these 4 files inside the folder. Dancing G, how to use number bond app, my number bond, and stand up wave. So leave every file the way they are in this folder. All you just need to do is double click on this one that says my number bond 4.2 or 3.3 depending on the version you downloaded. So I'm going to double click to open it because that is the application you need to work with. It will open up in Microsoft Excel. Then this form opens up called user form, and the current user is Anyofe, and whatever, because this has been used before, it has been updated with the current user. So you can even select different users here, so it can be used by different children, keeping their records separately. If you want to add another user, just click in this box, select this type here and put that person's name. Let's say the person's name is John. Then you click on sign up. When you click sign up, John automatically becomes the current user, and you can then click let's go to see the front end of the application. So it opens up the application. You can now see John, the math star, because he's the current user of the application, has 0 champions medal because anyway he's new. So as the child gets more medals, the medals will show up here. And how do you get medals? You get medals when you do 10 random questions and you got all 10 correctly, you're entitled to 1 medal. So you keep on going and going, and the medal keeps on adding up. Now let's go through the functionalities of this application. First, this application is tagged number bond. So the first thing, if you look at this button here, is called number bond. This is the first functionality of this application. Then it helps also with multiplication drill, also with mental sums. Now let's go through each one of them accordingly. Now the first one, if I click this number bond button, it brings up this dialog box. Here you can set up the decimal place. It could be none, 1 or 2, whichever one you want to do. The math operation, you can do plus, minus, times, and division. The number sum, as number bond is, there is a bigger sum and there are 2 numbers adding up to that bigger sum. So what number bonds concept does is one of the 2 numbers adding up will be missing. So the child needs to figure out a number that will pair with the one that is available to give us the bigger sum. So let's say the bigger sum here is say 20. Now you can set the missing number, whether you want the first or the second number to be missing. Then you can set the timer if you want to use timer to do 10 quick random questions. Now let's assume this is my setting. I'll click on update. Immediately I click on update, it updates all my preferences. 1 decimal place, the number sum is 20. You can see that 1 number is missing, so all the child needs to do is figure out the missing number, type it in, and click on enter. 2 ways in which to input answers in this application. You can either type using your keypad. I'm going to type using my keypad now and type 10, then press enter. Compulsorily you must press enter.
Correct.
You can see the application responded that my answer is correct, and it has given me a smiley face telling me I'm correct. Well done, you are great. Now anytime you click reset, it resets to give you another question. Now I have another question. I can use the number pad here, this red button here. If I click on the red button, the number pad comes up. I can use this to type in my answer. This comes in handy if I'm using this application on the smart board, where I will need to type on the board or point on the boards. So what do I add to 14.10? That will give me 20. I want to guess that will be 5.9. So I'm going to click enter.
Correct.
That's correct. That's the second way of imputing your answer in this application. Okay, so number bond can be varied. You can use it for children of different age group. You can even use it for children who are just 3 years old. You can vary it to suit their purpose. And 3 plus what gives you 5. The child begins to do addition and subtraction together at the same time. This is a concept that helps build foundational mathematics analysis. So if that child can know the combination of numbers that made up a bigger one, that child is doing 2 things at a time, figuring out addition and subtraction at the same time. So it doesn't end up with children of this lower age. You can set up to meet the challenges of the bigger children. You can set up your number sum to any number whatsoever. Any number. Make the decimal place. You can use minus, times, or whatever you can set up the timer and what is it. So it gives preference for any type of analysis for any children level. So the child then begins to type the answer to this. I think the correct answer to this should be 970.
Incorrect.
Oh, that's incorrect. Because it is minus. Oh, I thought it was plus. So that's just it. That's just now let me put the correct answer. I think it's 1030.
Correct.
That should be correct now. So it can be varied to meet up the child's preference any day, anytime. So number bond can be multiplication. Just click update. It will give you multiplication. 863 times what will give you 1000. That's higher mathematics. And it can also be division. So whatever it is, whatever number you want to set, whatever your preference, this application is good to go. 14 divided by what will give you 30. And you can see that if it is division or multiplication, so whatever the level, you can only approximate to 2 decimal places. So whatever the answer is, whatever the level of the child is good to go. And let me quickly do the 10 quick question. Let me reset this to something very simple so that will be faster for me to work with. And let me set this to 5 seconds. Now, if the child wants to get a medal, you can quickly switch on to after clicking reset and the child is good to go, you can quickly do the 10 quick questions. You click start here. And it comes up with this telling you want to answer 10 quick questions. Always click on enter when you enter your answer. Then you click OK. Then it starts. You put the answer.
Correct.
You can see this timer counting down.
Correct. 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 Correct.
Be mindful of the time. The timer is counting down, so you need to work within the time. Otherwise, the question will pass and you won't get that question.
Correct. Correct.
Like it is, random questions. Keeps on changing within the range you have specified.
Correct.
So after the 10th question, let's see what happens.
You got 10 out of it.
It celebrates the child for getting 10 out of 10 questions, and it's giving a medal, 1 medal. Then the solution to the problem, the 10 problems and your answers and everything, so that the child can learn how to do it again next time. So I can just, close that, and I'm good to go for the next. Now the child has a 1 champion's medal. So it keeps on going and going until the child becomes master in mathematics. Now let's talk about the multiplication drill. To do multiplication drill, you click this tab, multiplication drill, and it brings up this dialog box. Now you set your preferences. Times table of what is the times table of what you want to do, whatever it is, whatever the level of the child. Let's say 10. I want to do times table of 10. What's the largest value that I want to have? Say 12. So I can only have 10 times 1 to 12 to work with. Because of the versatility of this application, you can do positive or negative numbers. So you can even do multiplication drill for negative numbers. So you choose whether positive or negative. The number decimal places, none, 1 or 2. The constant value. The constant value, is it the first or the second box that you want to be constant? You choose. Then you set the timer if you wish to use the timer. So if I click update now, it sets up my multiplication drill. And the child keeps on answering. 0 times 10 is 0. You click enter.
Correct.
To have another question, you click on reset. So it keeps on changing the first one. Don't forget ask that the second number be constant. So the child keeps putting the answer. What this does is to make the child very sound in multiplication rather than learning
Correct.
rote learning, rather than learning the concept by reciting and reciting. The child begins to understand the working chemistry of multiplication table. So it doesn't need to cram any answer. This process might take a while, but when the child grasps it, then it's good to go to any length or dimension. Now, for whatever the level of the child is, you are good to go. Let's say you want to do negative numbers and decimal place to 2. First missing, whatever it is, you want to set this up, maybe into a bigger number, whatever number it is. Whatever number it is, you are good to go. So, minus 30 times minus 30.60. The bigger children, the older children can quickly get their pen and paper, solve this out. So it engages the children's brain. It tells them how to manipulate and cement the fundamental concept of multiplication. This is negative. When you multiply negative and negative, what do you get? Positive. The child grows that ability by manipulating the drill to suit whatever level it is. And that's the beauty of the multiplication drill of this number bond application. Lastly, we'll talk about the mental sums. This, you click the mental sums tab and it brings up the mental sums setting box. Here, you select the maximum number you want to work with. Let's say the child is in lower primary and you just want to limit the child between 0 and 10. So I click 10 for maximum value 1, maximum value 2, positive. You can do negative 2, no decimal. Let's do addition. Don't forget you can do addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. You can set up the time to whatever. And if I click updates, it sets that up for me. So this is mental sums. This is quite different from number bond. Mental sums, two numbers that then the child provides the answer after solving. So like this, child just typed in 19.
Correct.
That's correct. You keep on clicking reset to change the numbers. So it's highly engaging and interacting for the child. So the two numbers keeps on changing to give the child varying questions in the space with which you have defined. You know, I've set it such a way that the first number should not be more than 10 and the second number should not be more than 10. So the child keeps on putting the answer and keeps on clicking reset. And if the child wants to test his ability, the child goes to the 10 quick question where he clicks start and work within the time and all of that. Don't forget, this is not limited to children of lower school or younger age, whatever the age is, say 20, whatever. You can set up this negative mix. I can do subtraction, I can do division up to whatever decimal place up to 2. So it sets it up for me. Then you keep on working on it. Now this is minus 13.20 minus 2.20. So the child keeps on working out the solution, getting better and better, clicking reset to change the question as he or she is progressing. Click on reset to get a newer question, and it goes on and on. And the child is so sound and ready to go. Click the start button, set the timer to something preferable. Maybe while starting off, the timer might be something very high, so I give the child enough time to solve, and as the child is progressing, you reduce the time and it keeps on going like that. So it is usable for any level of education, and it's highly engaging, interactive, and most importantly, create sound and basic mathematics foundation in your world or children. That is the best way to learn mathematics concepts and be extremely vibrant and excellent in doing greater tasks that comes up in later years. Thank you very much. I'm indeed grateful.